Hi, my name's Chris Copeman and we're at Bryn Veterinary Centre in Ashton and Makerfield near Wigan, and this is our new surgery that we've just built. It is the first Passivhaus veterinary surgery in the country, which I think is quite an achievement. It's been a lot of work building it, but I think it's an investment for the long term, investment for the future, for all of us really. We're stood in the middle of a flower bed at the moment, yes, and some of this helps with the building. These trees will provide some shading in the summer because they're deciduous, and in the winter they'll let that light in to help heat the building. So this is all part of the calculation with this building to minimise energy use. The grey base that you can see of the building there is part of what's called a passive slab. So this building has no traditional foundations at all. It has a hardcore base that's levelled very flat, and then a polystyrene base is put down with a lip. Steel mesh is put into the middle of there, and then a eco concrete was used inside of that, and that then creates a base for your building that's completely insulated 360 degrees around your building. You've used minimal amounts of concrete, and you've got a really good base from which to start your building from. The whole building's clad in larch from Scotland, from a social enterprise, and then we've got lime render over wood fibre down below, and timber windows. So larch is a great material to use. It needs no treatment for 20 years. It's natural oils, just keep it looking good. Right, let's go inside. Yeah, these doors take a bit of putting in. These weigh 120 kilos each. Well, we've got triple glazed windows, and most of the glazing in this building is on the south side of this building. So that's so that we can get maximum solar gain in the winter, but we've got a good roof overhang so we don't get overheating in the summer. So we have other windows on the east and the west as well, which help with natural light. We've also got this really high clerestory window, which is really good for letting natural light into the building, and that lets light right into the inner rooms. And this is a problem with vet surgeries, is you get these inner rooms that have no natural light in them, but we can do that with these sort of high windows that will let light in at this time of year, and it makes it a nicer building to work in. The big roof overhang, I think it's about 60 centimetres, makes it look a little bit like a Swiss chalet, you could say, but that's also got a purpose. It stops overheating in the summer. In the summer, obviously, the sun's a lot higher in the sky, so at its hottest in the middle of the day, that this is going to be providing shading to stop this building overheating in the summer. So we're thinking about, with a Passivhaus building like this, we're thinking about keeping the heat in, but we're also keeping the heat out when you don't want it in. As our ridge beam, we're using something called glulam timber, this enormous beam you can see up there. This is structural engineered timber that's made from lots of bits of wood glued together. It's used in a lot of commercial projects now. This is stronger than steel. It's more, its carbon footprint's about 1/5 of steel. It's actually more fire resistant than steel as well. You don't have to clad it in plasterboard, so you get this really nice big beam in your building that's, it's even actually cheaper than steel now. So you're winning on all fronts, you incorporating something like this in the building. Yeah, it was a pub called the Oddfellows Arms, and we've reclaimed what materials we thought we could use in a vet surgery, and there's a lot of sort of bars and surfaces in a pub, and there was a lot of really nice timber in this building. That's got an ash top on it, which is really nice wood. It was a shame to throw it away, so the bar's been turned into a reception desk, and we're not serving drinks, so. the staff room, so a really important part of a vet surgery. I think you need somewhere for everybody to get a cup of tea and get their lunch. So yeah, it's in a sort of nice central bit of the surgery. It's somewhere that gets a lot of natural light in, so at lunchtime we should be getting some sun through that window, so it's a nice space for people to relax and have a break. It's at the centre of the practice, it's near sort of reception, it's near kennels and other rooms, so anybody here can be reached very quickly from any other part of the building. A Passivhaus building makes for a much healthier environment for people within it. You've got controlled ventilation, you extract from wet rooms, and you supply to living rooms, or in a vet surgery to operating rooms and waiting areas. And this means that you've got controlled humidity in your building, you've got CO2 levels that are controlled, not excessive, you've got volatile organic compounds being removed. You're making a much healthier building for people to work in and a much more pleasant environment for them as well. This is the prep room. We've only moved into this building a few months ago, so we're still working out where things are going, but this is a really good central area where we can, prepare animals for operations through in the op room. We've got walk-in shower kennel here. We've got X-ray next door. Kennels on two lots of kennels on either side of this room. We can access all the consult rooms from here. We keep all the drugs, injectables here. So it's a really sort of good space for making this building really function as a vet surgery. There's a cross-flow ventilation across this room, so we supply fresh air to that operating room at the end over there that you can see, and that's then extracted from a kennel room. So it means you're reducing contamination or cross-infection, with a building like this, and that controlled humidity level that this building has, and we can even link our ventilation to CO2 sensors or humidistats if necessary. That means that you're much less likely to sort of pass infections on. If you're keeping that humidity level between 40 and 60% in a building, it's better for the people there and all your patients. We're very careful with what we use for sort of things like that. We use hydrogen peroxide for disinfection, which breaks down to water. So we try and, all the materials and things that we use, we try and think about that and use the ones that are going to have the least harmful effect on us and also our patients and the environment. Part of the planning for a Passivhaus building is you think about light in the building, and we've really planned that all windows are either south, east or west, and we've also sort of thought, because it's a vet surgery, we thought about where we want natural light. So this operating room has been positioned on the side of the building where there's really good light at the time of day when you're operating. So you can see even without any lights on today, it's still sort of well lit. So it means that there's always it's going to be a nice good room for surgical procedures. This is the upstairs area, which is sort of like an office, rest space, I suppose. We've not entirely worked out what we're going to use this room for, but it's a nice room for big meetings if we need to get the whole practice together. So it's sort of multifunctional. We've got roof windows in this room because it's built in the roof. You have to be careful in Passivhaus buildings with roof windows because you lose so much more heat upwards than sideways. So this has to be sort of carefully thought out, and also the detailing for making them airtight is more difficult. So we've used quadruple glazed windows in this building because of that sort of extra heat loss. So they're fairly serious heavy windows. So we're in the plant room now. So this is the area where all the sort of the technology that's involved with the Passivhaus goes. And this device is a heat exchanger, basically, but it's called a heat recovery ventilation device, and this is a sort of a very high quality one. So this basically takes all the dirty air that we're extracting from the building, passes that heat through a heat exchanger into the fresh air that's coming into the building, so that pre-warms that sort of cold fresh air, so it's saving all that heat from just getting pumped out of the building and reusing that heat, so you get fresh warm air straight to all the rooms that you need it. It's an incredibly efficient device. It only uses 20 watts, so it's a very good thing to put into a building for in terms of energy efficiency and also health for occupants. Building a Passivhaus building, whether it's a vet surgery or a home, it's an investment in the future. It's what we need to do to tackle climate change. It's what we need to do to make buildings healthy for people to live in. It's looking to the future. You're looking at a building that's going to have almost zero energy costs over the next 30 years. So as energy costs go up, it's not going to affect this building, and we're also sort of investing in the future for the next generation. We're building something that's still going to be an advanced building 30 years from now, and a lot of buildings being built now are going to be out of date, and they're going to have to be retrofitting them because they've not thought about some of the things that we've thought about here. So we're producing more energy in this building than we use. So this really is a little mini power station that we've got here. So this is all helping keep the costs of running a vet surgery down. It's making this a sort of very efficient business. From a business point of view, doing this Passivhaus veterinary surgery it's a really good move.